on the 31st.
I use closed session.
Good evening. We'll call the order of Hawarden City Council to order on Wednesday, March 24, 2021 at 5:30. All present are council other than John. Welcome back to the main, like a better word, main level and togetherness. Again, it's been a long year, hasn't it? We've persevered. So, if you wish to address the council again tonight, two options. Open business from the community on number 1C, and then we do have a public hearing on 6A in regards to real estate property. We start out tonight with the approval of the March 10th, 2021 regular council meeting minutes, and then also a special meeting on March the 17th, special council meeting minutes. Both have been in your packet.
So moved.
There's been a motion by Travis. Is there a second? Seconded by Tim. This is to approve both the special meeting and the regular meeting 2 weeks ago. All in favor then of the approval of the city council meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It passes 4-0. Next is approval of claims for payment for March 24th. Start with Rob for questions, please.
No questions.
Jen, do you have questions?
No questions.
Travis?
None, thank you.
Tim, questions?
None. So moved.
There's been a motion by Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Rob. All in favor then of the March 24th, 2021 claims for payment, say aye.
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 Those opposed? Passes 4-0. Move next to open business from the community if you wish to address the council tonight.
Good evening. I had the pleasure of talking to the mayor and Mike earlier today. My concern as a citizen of Hawarden was because of the gas bill surprise that we got last statement. I have spoken to Travis about some of the reasons why our bill is so high. It's still I just can't wrap around my head around the idea that we're just going to take a price increase of not tenfold, but I just want to, I know there's no feedback going on the meeting, but like I said, I got some feedback before. But I just want to put it out there that I want to make sure that we take the steps necessary, that we don't just take it like that. It's not fair, not just for me, but for all the other people that I know, that I talk to. Unfortunately, nobody else makes it here because most of the little guys just take it. And I know we have an attorney and that represents the city, so I would suggest that we use it to the full advantage because price gouging, it's pretty obvious there. For what I understood, I have to address my concerns from here to Tom Miller, our Attorney General. From there, maybe reach to the district representatives, all the way to our senators, congressmen. I just hope that something is being done at a local level. I just want to make sure that if I pay for this bill like I paid a few years back when we had that incident where we had to buy from on a normal situation where we had to buy a normal price, I just want to make sure that there is some sort of control, that we don't just, oh, we have no choice. It just makes no sense. So.
Thank you very much for your comments. You know, we are all in the same boat. I do know we are working on that with what we can do. For our citizens, I know that Tracy, who's in the front office, office, working very diligently with individual customers, directing them to areas that they can get assistance, but certainly understand your concerns. And we will follow up with that both from Travis and Mike and as a city. Thank you for being with us tonight. Any other comments from the community? Hearing none, that then moves to the mayor's report. Sometimes, yesterday I took a lot of Mike's time. I come in and try to, busy today, come in and try to write a mayor's report. I'd get up, go talk to Mike, come back. I think it's not going to be 3 hours, but it took me 3 hours to put 4 comments down. It was just one of those days. Got a lot on my mind, I think. So, first of all, our community has a great opportunity to come together and assist with the Habitat for Humanity house to be built here in Hawarden. This is a great project for school classes, church groups, businesses, families, and individuals to come together as a community for a common cause, a caring cause, a cause filled with love for a local family. If you as a family are interested in owning this house, your application needs to be in by the end of this month. We as a city are looking for persons to serve on our Planning and Zoning Board and the Board of Zoning Adjustment. If you are interested, please contact the city offices. As I watch the national news and see cities that have difficulties with their drinking water or cities that have had power lines down during the recent storms, I'm very thankful for our city staff and for the infrastructure improvements that Hawarden has made. As a smaller community, we are blessed for the quality of services our city offers. As we are now in the spring season, please start to pick up around your homes and your businesses. Let's take a good look at our surroundings and make it look better. As you know, I love quotes. I found this one that not only deals with our local community, but with all that is going on in our nation after the COVID year and after the past political year and after the past number of weeks with mass shootings. So the quote by Marianne Williamson reads like this: "In every community there is work to be done. In every nation there are wounds to heal. And in every heart there is the power to do it. So please take the time to be kind and show humanity to others." We move then on to staff reports. Jacob, we're nearing the end of budget time.
Correct. We should be done with our budget within the next month, and then we will be moving on to the budget amendment for the current year. So we'll be looking out for some information on that, and that's pretty much all we got going on right now.
Okay, numbers. Travis, please.
This week is Severe Weather Awareness Week in Iowa. You've probably heard the sirens today. All 3 are working. They did a statewide test this morning at 11 a.m. And just a reminder that the county will be testing our sirens the first Friday of every month, April through September. So if you hear it that first Friday, that's what's going on. And if anyone notices, maybe one not working somewhere along the way, please let us know. We do try and get out on those days and listen for all 3 of them, but we want to make sure they're all working. We've had lightning strikes in the past and different things take them out, or the radio signal. So as the weather improves the next couple of weeks, we'll be replacing some concrete. The first area is around the pool. We had to take out 3 sections to fix the wading pool pipes that were broken. And the other section is, there's a little bit of curb section on the east side of Central Avenue in the 800 block that they'll get replaced at the same time. We were notified that it was cracked when we were doing our downtown facade, or concrete and lighting stuff. I thought it would last a little longer, and I believe it was the plow truck when they were cleaning the snow took it. So we'll get that replaced right away.
Sioux County then fires up the sirens? That
Yes.
comes from them then on that first Friday of the month?
Yep, they get a radio signal and go off. So.
Thank you. Mike?
The only thing I got is tomorrow, the Hobart will be here to install a new dishwasher in the kitchen, and so Operation Clean Dishes is underway.
Got to make some dirty first, I guess. Mr. Pickner, anything from you? Okay, thank you. Corey?
Just reiterate on the cleanup. I know Travis has got days already picked out, but we're going to be starting our nuisance abatement stuff here now that the nicer weather's here. And I think we're going to start off with some dilapidated structures that need some notices given off first. So if you have such, try to get them mended up before we get out there and see it, or we'll be giving you a notice and start our paperwork that way. Other than that, everything's going good.
Okay, thank you. Larry?
Nothing special to report, just ongoing activities that I've reported on in front of this board before.
Okay, thank you very much. Any comments from council or questions for staff from council members at this point? Hearing none, we'll move into agenda item number 3. This would be the first reading of ordinance 729, ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Hawarden by repealing section 60.09, all-night parking prohibited. Mike, you want to give us an overview of that, please?
So this is kind of what Corey addressed at the last meeting about the downtown parking. Originally, that was put in place because they swept the streets at 3 a.m. They no longer do that. We do have some people that live above some of the stores, and this would remove that so there's not a conflict with the police department and whether to issue a ticket or not.
So moved.
There's been a motion by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jen. This is a motion and a second for the first reading of 729, repealing the all-night parking on Central. Roll call vote, please, for the first reading of ordinance 729.
Olson.
Aye.
Kurth.
Aye.
Bergsma.
Aye.
Clucky.
Aye.
4-0 roll call vote. First reading of ordinance 729 passes. Agenda item number 4, continued discussion and renewing the garbage contract and adding toters. I'll again refer back to Mike. He's been in contact with Brad.
As you know, Orange City Sanitation presented to the council a couple meetings ago about adding toters to the garbage service, and then also wishing to extend the contract to a new 5-year contract so he could recoup some of those costs. He would remain the owner of those. Every household would be given 2 toters, one for recycling, one for garbage, and the increased cost would be $2 per month. Not $2 per month per toter, but total of $2 per month. Anything that, anybody that has garbage that would overflow the toter would have to come down to the city, buy a tag for $1 and put the tag on the bag. We hope that, or the hope would be that this would also encourage recycling. Nobody wants to spend any more money than they have to, and maybe they would start recycling if they currently aren't doing it. The eventual benefit to the community would be everybody would have garbage cans, where a lot of people now will just set out a bag. We do find it where a stray cat or a stray dog will get into the bag, tear garbage up, it's down the block. Also for aesthetic looks, that, you know, everybody's got the garbage can for the Orange City Sanitation. They would then move to a truck that's got an arm on it and go to one person on the truck as well. So it's open for discussion. We've had some citizen input on what do they do with their toter that they have now, so.
I know we discussed the other day, amongst other things, about perhaps if we go down that road, that existing toters, maybe we try to gather them as a community, offer them maybe to another community that may use them, or maybe to anyone out in the rural area that would need them. I think Tim said, they're still good toters. What can we do with them? That might be an option. I know at one point we gave a truck down to Chatsworth, and they were very thankful. But yeah, I've got a great toter that still works, so it'd be nice for somebody to be able to use that, and that might be an option for some of those. I don't know.
Another thing I was thinking, maybe we could just actually use them and charge $1. I mean, if you want to just keep your old one until it needs replacing or something, we wouldn't have to just throw it away because it's not the right color anymore. I don't know if he'd go along with that or not, until he doesn't like it, I mean, he could.
Right. We can present those options to him.
And I would like the option of somebody keeps it but uses it for recycling. I mean, recycling, it would be a bigger tote anyways. I would rather somebody recycles more than throws more away. So,
So maybe going towards the dollar toter, the one toter for garbage, and just doing one right now and then eventually going into two is,
no, I know your concern is how do we figure this out in the office with billing? And yes, it stinks. It's gonna be a headache once to figure out, and then you have it figured out. But I just can't justify to some of the citizens that we're saying we're adding something to your garbage, but oh, by the way, you have to throw something away that's very functional that you maybe just bought last year. So I haven't had resolution on that part yet. So.
The overall garbage rate was staying the same, it was just the increase of the $1 or $2 for the toters or whatever it was.
correct, it'd be $2, well, from what we were told, it's $2, $1 for each toter. He would, if we went into a new contract, he would keep the rate the same for a period of 3 years beyond that. And then I'm not sure where the rate would go. I mean, we haven't talked about that at all. Another thing we have to consider is right now, all of our apartments in town, our apartment complex, are billed individually for their garbage at the same rate my house is. Well, not all of them have garbage. Some of them have a community dumpster, or a couple of community dumpsters they use. We would have to look at what kind of change we would have to make, because I doubt that the apartments across the street or Maple Crest, every resident in there is gonna want 2 toters at their apartment. So we would maybe have to change for garbage pickup those to business or commercial, just for the sake of the garbage. And right now with our businesses, we don't bill them to the city. They set up their own accounts with, right now I think most of them gone with Orange City Sanitation. We do bill them the $4 charge that we need to recoup that we have on our garbage fee for the landfill fees, for the testing, for the cleanup days, and things like that. So we would have to continue to build that, but their overall garbage rate, they would have to set up with Orange City,
The apartments would.
the apartments would. Unless each apartment wants 2 toters, but, you know, like you get Maple Crest, they're all inside, so.
Timing wise for staff to do that,
I believe that would take an ordinance change. So. And I don't know what Jim's schedule is to rewrite an ordinance, but he's usually pretty quick.
I already wrote an ordinance change, didn't I? Well, not that one, but I covered the change to the different type.
Right, yep, to the garbage receptacles.
So what responses have you gotten from community?
I haven't heard a lot. What I did hear is, what am I gonna do with my old toter? What, you know, mine's perfectly good, why do I gotta get a new one? I have heard that. You know, and you're right, it stinks. I don't think anybody's saying throw them away. There's, you know, maybe you can use it for yard waste, maybe you can use it for, you know, something else. Or maybe your city sanitation would work something out with those, where they would, you know, buy them back at a reduced rate and then re-rent them or give you credit. You know, those are things that we'd have to sit down and talk to them with if you want to move in that direction.
I think we should continue moving in that direction. It's just a question of talking with them and seeing what they can do.
Yep, our current contract is up at the end of June. He does have an option for a 3rd year on that contract, and he has exercised that option, but, so that gives us a little time that maybe we can work over the next couple months and make the changes we need to in order to come into that 3rd year with either a new contract or something.
Thank you for your efforts. And keep working on it.
Is that enough feedback that you need?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for your thoughts on that.
Agenda item number 5, through the COVID year, our Northwest Iowa Planning and Development Commission and the City of Hawarden contract got
Kind of slowed way down.
Slowed way down.
And the current agreement had an expiration on it, so they need to renew the agreement since we haven't used any of that money yet. We haven't refurbished anybody's home yet. And I do know that she did tell me they were gonna go out to bids next month, which is good news. So we'll see some action on that. 3 houses have been picked. They've done the background on them. They've done the income verification, so they're ready to go to bid. But in general, this general administrative agreement has to be renewed.
That's basically all it does. They keep working for us.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion for the approval of the amendment to the general administration agreement between Northwest Iowa Planning and
Development Commission in the City of Hawarden, Iowa?
So moved.
Moved by Jen, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Rob. Further questions or clarifications needed? Hearing none, then all in favor of the approval of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It passes 4-0. Agenda item number 6, A and B. A would be a public hearing for the final disposition
Position of real estate property at 105 Central Avenue. Following that will move into Resolution 2021-14. At this point, I will open the public hearing for the final disposition of real estate property at 1005 Central Avenue. Have we received any comments at the city?
None.
Okay. Anyone wish to address the council during this public hearing? Council members or staff wish to make any comments? Okay, this would final dispose to Cal and Carol Hugestrat if the resolution passes. Hearing no comments, we close the public hearing. Moving to Resolution 2021-14, authorizing the final disposition of real estate at that Central Avenue address to Cal and Carol Hugestrat, amount of $1,000. There's been a motion by Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Jen. Hearing a motion and a second, I call for a roll call vote for Resolution 2021-14.
Clucky?
Aye.
Kurth? Bergsma?
Aye.
Olson?
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2021-14 passes. We again thank them for their reinvestment into our community with their business. We move to agenda item number 7, discussion and consideration of holding once a month Hawarden City Council meeting minutes in place of our current 2 meetings a month. Pass that to Mike, please.
At the last meeting, Tim asked me to put this on the agenda to see just how the council felt about going to once a month meetings, if it would be possible.
I see that Akron switched to once a month now, so I was just thinking about it again, whether we don't do, or we do 1 meeting in November and December, and I was thinking possibly the summer months too, because we have 10-minute meetings usually in the summertime, and it's a waste of the staff. I don't mind coming, because I'm retired and I got nothing else going on in my summertime usually, but it seems like a waste of time, and if we can always have, like this month, we're actually having 4 little meetings or whatever, so you can call it anytime you want if you want a second meeting or need a third even, but I was thinking the first 4 months, having 2, because that's when we do the budget stuff, and the rest of the year try just 1 and see how it works. If it doesn't work, go back to 2. That's my thoughts, I don't know. Either way.
How would it affect claims for payment?
Claims, we could either email out, but you'd have to understand there's some claims will need to get out. we would probably look at changing the date to the third Wednesday of the month. So it's more in the middle of the month instead of the second and fourth. That way at least it follows in the middle, but there will be occasions where we do it now. We once in a while have some of our normal claims that just have to go out because of the timeliness to avoid penalty. Just because we're a city doesn't mean that they won't, you know, our credit cards, for example, they won't not assess a penalty.
Other thoughts?
Does it do anything else for timing issues? I guess, yeah, you know, the first couple months to be able to do a couple meetings.
You know, the first few months are important because we got to stay on track for budget,
Yeah.
which we got derailed a little bit this year. That's why you get to have special meetings in Florida. And, but two of the things I can think of right offhand that would cause a problem is an ordinance, because we traditionally don't waive the second and third reading. So it would take us 3 months to pass an ordinance instead of a month and a half. The other thing is if we, just like we did tonight, the disposition of property, it would take us longer to do that. Generally now it takes two meetings, takes a month, it would take a month and a half. If we had something that we needed to do rather quickly, we could always call a special council meeting. But then sometimes you get into the situation where right now people know when our council meetings are. So we would want to stay as consistent as we can if we go to once a month. So.
I'd like to try and avoid like what we did, you know, just having these like a pop-up meeting come up and there's not a lot of warning for citizens to be able to,
Right.
if they do like to watch.
And we do put it out. We put it out on Facebook. We put it on our website.
Yeah.
We, you know, try to get the word out. But
I'm not opposed to it as long as we are all understanding that in the instances where public hearings and that kind of stuff, we're going to have to. Like if we have to have another one, we have to have another one.
Yeah, because you gotta
But
keep,
yeah, I'm definitely not opposed to when we have a 5-minute meeting or something, just to throw something together and have claims for payment approved, then yeah, if we can do it once a month, we should.
and maybe we'd have to rethink the date now that Travis is talking and consistency. Maybe we keep it on the second Wednesday and then we have that fourth one in case we need to have another meeting. If you move it to the middle, I'm just thinking that's just gonna cause more issues and more nonconformities, so. It's something we could work through.
With Councilman John Knight here for comments, should we, again, maybe address this?
John did text me his comment on that.
Okay, thank you.
John said that he agrees with all the voting items on the agenda. He does fear that once a month meetings will not be frequent enough to conduct all of our business items, which I think is just something we addressed. And if we all have the understanding that we might have the second one and everybody's on the same page, and if it doesn't work, we abandon that and go back to 2 meetings a month.
Nothing's written in stone. I guess
Correct.
we actually, legally, sometimes.
yeah,
We could change the Ten Commandments.
So we'll refer to Mr. Pickner. What would,
They've been changed a little bit. No, I think you can do that. I suppose there'd be possibilities of continuing it, but I think Mike's idea of having that second date just stay the same, I think is better. Have the second meeting each month if you need it. But I don't know of anything that can keep you from changing the meeting date, as we give proper notice.
We should have 5 guys at the same meeting to decide whether we go ahead, right? Everybody should vote on that.
put it back on the agenda again for
Next meeting?
next meeting?
Yep.
if there's anything.
Let's try it. back.
Okay, we'll continue discussion on that at our next meeting. Thank you for the discussion with that tonight. Agenda item number 8 is approval to finalize the purchase of a part of the South Dakota right-of-way as part of Calliope Village. I will again refer to Mike, please.
Travis has worked really hard on this through the last year and a half, 2 years. The South Dakota Railroad owns the rail through Hawarden. Right now, we lease a piece of ground that has 3 buildings for Calliope Village on it. 3.5, and a bridge.
Schoolhouse is kind of
Yeah.
close to it.
And a piece of bridge. Well, they want to sell, South Dakota Railroad Authority wants to sell, or the state of South Dakota wants to sell their rail. We believe that they're going to sell through Hawarden, that sale will go through. But at that time, we lease property, we've leased property from them forever. And that's where we have the second part of Calliope Village. So we put in a request to purchase just that half block. We've had it surveyed, we've had it appraised, it appraises at $3,000. We've had to send that all to the South Dakota Railroad Association, or the state,
State of
whichever
South
one,
Dakota.
the state, and they finally have approved that sale. So we just need council approval to acquire property and to keep that moving forward.
So moved.
It's been moved by Travis, seconded by Tim, to approve to finalize the purchase of the part of the South Dakota right-of-way as part of Calliope Village. Okay. Do we set that amount or not?
What's that?
$3,000 is what?
Yes, that's what, they wanted the appraised value for it, so that's what we will sell it, or that's what we'll buy it for.
Okay. Any questions in regards to that? A voice vote is sufficient. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It passes 4-0. Travis, thanks for your work on that. We have no consent agenda items tonight. Our next regular city council meeting will be Wednesday, April the 14th. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Moved by Rob, seconded by Tim. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, city council's